Good morning. Here is the news at 10. First, the highlights. Lagos Safety Commission raises alarm over unsafe beauty practices, advocates stronger oversight. Nigerian Shippers Council calls for efficient sport performance dashboard to tackle insufficient cargo dwell time. On the foreign scene, Russian strikes kill 6 in Ukraine's apartment block. And in sport, Nigeria's Toby Amushon, others face mandatory gender tests ahead 2025 World Championships in Tokyo, Japan. Now the details. I am Dele Agadumo. Lagos State Safety Commission has expressed concern over the rising number of health and safety complaints from customers of beauty and spa parlors across the state, citing a growing need for a stricter regulation and ethical compliance in the industry. Director General of the Lagos Safety Commission, Larry Mujala, stated this at a seminar on ethics in the beauty and spa industry. Mujala said the state is responding to a worrying trend of incidents involving the misuse of chemicals, health complications, and reports of sexual harassment in some beauty establishments. According to the seminar is convened to engage stakeholders in the beauty and spa sector to uphold safety standards, ethical practices, and regulatory compliance in line with existing policies and environmental guidelines. He noted that some customers have suffered adverse reactions and complications after undergoing procedures at unregulated beauty centers, with some cases involving the use of toxic chemicals and unethical service delivery. Wife of the Lagos State Governor, Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, has expressed heartfelt appreciation to the Christian Association, religious leaders, and the entire Christian community for unwavering spiritual support. This, she said, continued to contribute to the growth, peace, and development of Lagos State. Mrs. Sanwo-Olu made this known at the 5th edition of Lagos Praise, an annual interdenominational Christian concert organized by her office with the theme Freedom Through Praise. She explained that the theme for this year, drawn from Acts 16, 25 to 26, reflects the miraculous deliverance of Paul and Silas from prison, a clear demonstration of the power of prayer and praise to bring about divine intervention. Mrs. Sanwo-Olu also extended her gratitude to all residents of the state for their prayers and overwhelming support for the administration, affirming that Lagos State and Nigeria will continue to enjoy God's peace that surpasses all understanding. Muslim Ummah have been urged to empower women through education, allowing them to contribute meaningfully to the development of society while remaining rooted in their cultural and religious values. Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Mudashiru Obasa, met the call at the 16th Annual Hijra Lecture with the theme, The Muslim Woman and Societal Reformation, Balancing Between Islamic Culture and Western Civilization. Obasa noted that while navigating the complexities of balancing rich Islamic culture, traditions, and practices with the influences of Western civilization, it is essential to recognize that both can coexist harmoniously without losing Islamic identity and values. He said the compromise of these values has led to disruptions in many homes where children are growing up with perverted values. The speaker said in recognizing the importance of women in the society and the need for them to be supported and protected, the Lagos State House of Assembly has passed into law some legislative measures that protect women's and girls' rights in the state.
As we engage with today's exchange seekers, let us be inspired to foster a society that values, uplifts women, ensuring that they are equipped and empowered to effect positive change and lead by example. Together, we must embrace our responsibility to nurture a generation of productive, virtuous women who can break free from the cycles of despair and embody ideas of Islam.
Guest speaker at the event, Jamila Yakub from the Department of Economics, Lagos State University, Ojo, appealed to the Lagos State government to look into the official postings of women to give them the opportunity to still take proper care of their home front and children while in active service. Our correspondent Abiola Fabolago reports that the event was attended by dignitaries, including wife of the governor, Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, body of permanent secretaries, council of imams, white cap chiefs, members of the Governor's Advisory Council, academia, among others. The Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria, BON, has announced the extension of the deadline for the submission of entries for the 2024 Nigeria Broadcasting Awards. Entries will now close on August 30, 2025, for the awards scheduled to hold in October 2025. Secretary, TNBA Steering Committee, Usman Bello, said the extension of the deadline follows numerous reports of technical difficulties experienced in submitting entries to meet the earlier deadline of July 31, 2025. Bello said feedback from many prospective entrants indicate difficulties with internet connectivity, noting that it became necessary to extend the submission window to allow all qualified professionals the opportunity to participate. He said all entries must be accompanied by the entrant's resume and submitted as either an MP3 file for radio or an MP4 file for television to entries at tnbawards.ng, stating that detailed submission guidelines are available at www.tnbawards.ng. Bello added that the Nigeria Broadcasting Awards serves as a prestigious platform to recognize and celebrate excellence in the Nigerian broadcasting industry. Now to the rest of the stories. The Nigerian Shippers Council, NSC, has directed the immediate development of an integrated real-time port performance dashboard to tackle long-standing inefficiencies in cargo dwell time and vessel turnaround at the nation's seaports. Speaking at the Council's Management System Retreat in Lagos, Executive Secretary of the NSC, Akuta Okeima, said the new system to be developed jointly by the Regulatory Services and ICT departments in collaboration with terminal operators and the Nigerian Customs Service, NCS, will track key logistic indicators including cargo dwell time and vessel turnaround time. According to him, the metrics will now form part of a monthly performance report submitted to the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. Speaking on the theme, Achieving Strategic Intent Through Performance Lens, Okeima emphasized the need for the NSC to transition from bureaucratic to a results-oriented organization, cautioning that all staff members and departments must produce qualified outcomes or risk punishment. On infrastructure, the Council reaffirmed commitment to the completion of the Kano, Jos, and Ogun inland dry ports, while strengthening linkages with the organized private sector exporters group to ease cargo evacuation and boost non-oil export earnings. The federal government has again reaffirmed its commitment to a low-carbon economy through a people-centered, just transition framework that safeguards livelihoods and drives economic diversification. Director General and Chief Executive of the National Council on Climate Change Secretariat, Nkeruka Madueke, stated these are the final national stakeholders consultation on the development of Nigeria's Just Transition Guideline held in Port Harcourt. This is coming just as experts and labor leaders called for concrete policies to protect vulnerable workers and communities during Nigeria's energy shift. Lagos State chapter of the All Progressives Congress APC has urged the People's Democratic Party PDP to focus on resolving its chronic internal crisis rather than issuing hollow statements about 2027. In a statement, the party's spokesperson, Sheye Oladejo, says Nigeria deserves a credible opposition. The statement follows a report credited to the spokesperson of the PDP in which he claimed that only his party has the structure and strength to unseat APC in the 2027 national elections. Now to foreign news. At least 6 people were killed and more than 50 others were wounded in a barrage of Russian drones and missiles that struck several districts in Kiev and brought down an apartment block. One of the dead was a 6-year-old boy. Head of Kiev's military administration, Timur Tachenko, said the death toll could rise with damage in more than 24 locations. The high-pitched hum of Russian drones could be heard for hours over the capital, interrupted by the occasional loud thunderclap of a missile strike. Russian attacks have continued despite United States President Donald Trump's threat to impose tougher sanctions on Moscow if President Vladimir Putin does not agree to a ceasefire by 8th of August. Now, sports. Nigeria's sprint hurdler and world record holder Tobi Amusan will be among the female athletes required to undergo a mandatory genetic gender test under new regulations introduced by World Athletics ahead of the 2025 World Championships in Tokyo. According to the updated eligibility rules released by the global body, every athlete competing in the female category must, starting from September 1, 2025, complete a one-time genetic test to confirm their biological sex. The tests aimed at detecting the presence of the SRY gene typically found on the Y chromosome will be conducted via cheek swab or blood sample. World Athletics President Sebastian Coe defended the new policy, insisting it is necessary to maintain fairness in women's sports. And that is on News at 10. Just before we go, use the walkway where available to avoid accidents. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms: X at Traffic Radio 961, Facebook Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, Instagram Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Subscribe and watch news and programs live on YouTube at Traffic Radio 961. Visit our website on www.trafficradio961.ng. You can also listen to Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM live on My Lagos app for timely updates. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration provided 1,400 hostel beds for Lagos model colleges? You can get more details on the Lagos State Government website. To end the news, we have the highlights of the major stories. Lagos State Safety Commission has expressed concern over the rising number of health and safety complaints from customers of beauty and spa parlors across the state, citing a growing need for stricter regulation and ethical compliance in the industry. The Nigeria Shippers Council, NSC, has directed the immediate development of an integrated real-time port performance dashboard to tackle long-standing inefficiencies in cargo dwell time and vessel turnaround at the nation's seaports. Also told you that at least 6 people were killed and more than 50 others were wounded in a barrage of Russian drones and missiles that struck several districts in Kiev and brought down an apartment block. And in sport, Nigeria's sprint hurdler and world record holder Tobi Amusan will be among the female athletes required to undergo a mandatory genetic gender test under new regulations introduced by World Athletics ahead of the 2025 World Championships in Tokyo. For contact with the newsroom, send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. That ends the news broadcast compiled by Zainab Adibeshi. I am Dele Agadumo. Good morning. Thank you for listening.